following a mid-air brawl.
They're expected to fly back to Britain later today, and the prospect of a legal battle with the airline follows. They were booked to fly to Jamaica, but the plane was forced to divert to the United States when trouble broke out. Now the passengers concerned could face a huge bill for damages. Andrew Simmons reports.
The unscheduled landing for this holiday flight came after a fight broke out between a group of passengers. American police and the FBI were called in to take away 12 people who Air Tours claim were involved in a drunken brawl. The first holiday snaps for some passengers were of the aftermath of this incident. Police eventually released the unruly passengers who were barred from continuing their trip to Jamaica. The airline also cancelled their hotel reservations, but the passengers denied causing trouble.
We were taken off the flight.
We were taken off the flight.
Because you were all together?
That's right.
But we're going to get our solicitor when we get home. We're getting our solicitor onto it and we're getting it sorted out because it's rough justice. We've never been treated like this. We've travelled the whole world. Hold on, Holly!
2 people was involved in the fight and 12 was chucked off the plane because 2 people had a simple argument, and because we were in one group, the extra 10 was shoved off the plane.
I'm free! Nelson Mandela! I'm free!
They may be free, but they could face the sobering prospect of a heavy bill to pay and no Jamaican holiday to show for it. Air Tours, who are known to take a tough line on so-called air rage incidents, say they've paid the rerouting costs for the flight. But under aircraft navigation law, they may demand compensation from the passengers. Andrew Simmons, ITN.
Researchers investigating the virus which causes AIDS said today they've made an important discovery about how it was first passed to humans. The scientists have traced the source of one strain of HIV to a similar virus in chimpanzees in Africa. Our health correspondent Helen Wright reports.
Some scientists have always suspected chimps were the source of HIV and that it originated in West Central Africa. This study has now established a link between one type of chimp from that region and one strain of the HIV virus. American researchers found that HIV-1, the strain that affects the majority of sufferers, is closely related to a virus that infects chimps but does not make them ill. It's through hunting and eating chimp meat that the virus is thought to have first passed to humans. Its genetic makeup did change in the process, but scientists now believe looking at how the chimp virus works will help them understand more about how HIV works. As chimps and humans are genetically so alike, they say that may help develop treatments.
By studying the difference between the humans and the chimpanzees, we can find some clues how to treat it and develop and effective vaccines.
Wildlife groups say the findings must force further restrictions on the trade in bush meat.
We've seen over the past few years that this trade has really escalated out of control. At the moment, nothing is being done to stop it. Now we can see from this news that the trade is a danger not only to chimpanzees and other species, but also to mankind.
Meanwhile, AIDS charities are warning it could be decades before this research leads to a vaccine or helps find a cure. Helen Wright, ITN.
The British racing driver Damon Hill unveiled his new car for the next Formula One series today. It'll be his second year driving for Jordan. Last year they only won one Grand Prix together, but this year, powered by new Honda engines, they say it will be a serious contender. And Damon Hill joins us now from the London Palladium. Well, Mr. Hill, looking forward to the new season eagerly, I hope?
I am indeed, yes. I think we've got very high hopes for this year's car, and we're looking forward to the season coming up.
Now, what's it about the car that makes you so confident?
Well, I know the engineers and I know the people at Mugen Honda, and they're all very optimistic about the results they've had, both from the dyno, from the horsepower figures, and also from the aerodynamic figures. So that's given me good reason to believe them.
What you're saying is the car hasn't actually been given a run out on a track yet?
No, as yet it hasn't actually been on a circuit, so all this is hot air until we actually prove it.
So you're very confident indeed that the engineers have got it right, but you've got to drive it, you've got to get it round faster than anybody else.
Yes, well, obviously it goes without saying that I'm confident of my own abilities, but until you get in the car and actually hit the track, and that you won't get a definite answer as to how good it's going to be.
Now, you talk about your own abilities, and we've seen them very well demonstrated in the past. Do you think you can be world champion again?
I think, obviously, given the right circumstances and perhaps with a bit of luck, there could be a championship in the offing. You don't know how soon, but I'm very, very buoyant about this year's car and this year's season coming up, and I have no doubts about myself as far as winning a championship goes. Yeah.
Well, best of luck to you, of course. What other names should we be looking for? Who are you going to be really having in your sights this time?
I think it'll be the usual crew. I don't think that much will change there, but I think this year's championship will be a more exciting one. I think a much more closely fought championship with not so much dominance by any one particular team, but you can't rule out the regular front runners.
Well, Damon Hill, as I said, very best of luck to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.